judgment or decision is made in. And that's what I was trying to represent here. Again, I have the apples in the monk's hands, and the apple, taking a bite out of the apple is that new awareness that is that modern perception, and the unbitten apple is the ideal or theoretical perception, and I wanted to represent that desire to hold to both of those things, hold both of those things in balance and harmony. The apple cores at the bottom are meant to represent the challenges of that. The challenges are that you constantly, I feel like all of humanity constantly wants to gravitate to one or the other. We find stability, or I find stability in thinking of everything within this context, or thinking of everything within this context, or, within this perception or this perception, it somehow makes it easier. But in the end, I feel like that adds more chaos. There isn't actually, you're really not understanding the complexity of reality. You're not getting the wholeness of what it means to be alive. And I wanted to represent that or the challenge of that, by showing all these apple cores of like what I've gone through in my undergrad years of just constantly devouring all this information and just trying to look for something new and more, and something that would give me peace about what I was learning. The image in the background of the fire is a reference to a historical event, or two events. I've merged them into one. The idea was, I don't know if you're familiar with Savonarola, and how he encouraged painters, early painters of the Renaissance, to burn their paintings because they were promoting humanism, and he thought that was too far. I can kind of see Savonarola as just seeing everything theoretically, not understanding the practical side of life. Well, in the end, Savonarola himself ended up getting burned because the people revolted against that, because they rejected the idea that he had gone to this so far extreme, And so in a way, this was like an image in the background, like constantly keeping the figure in the foreground in check. Saying either extreme without keeping this in balance is not good. Okay, well, I hope I didn't go too fast there. I'm getting kind of comfortable now. I just wanted to thank Charles Kaltenmeyer. He's been a great mentor. I don't think it was possible for me to continue this search and to go through all this without him. He's encouraged me to be. He's been very critical and supportive at the same time. And again, I think that for me, he's one of those teachers that have been able to keep those two perceptions in mind. Knowing there's a time to be critical and there's a time to be supportive. He's still human. And I just really wanted to thank him because again, I don't think this would have been possible. None of my work would have been possible without him. The image here is not in chronological order. This is not my last painting. This was actually sort of towards the beginning. I am digging in the earth. That's not good, but I sort of wanted it to represent that I'm going to constantly keep looking, constantly, and that's really where the harmony and balance comes from. By just the continual process of investigating honestly, and that's what this painting